You know, this pool party incident thing, this is ridiculous. Like, everybody's sitting there watching these police come there and throw these little children down on the ground. And for the Caucasian lady who has the nerve to sit there and say that these police were doing their job and that he deserves a medal, what video did you watch? Just ask yourself this one question while you're praising this police officer that's slamming little 15-year-old girls to the ground with bikinis. Like, what threat is that? Ask yourself this: if that was your child, would it be okay? Would you think that he was just doing his job? You would care less about that once you've seen this policeman slamming your own child, to the ground. It shouldn't matter if they're black or whatever color. But the problem is they were black. And the crazy part about it was the majority of people that were sitting down that he placed on the grass that made sit down, they were black. That girl that he slammed to the ground, keep in mind, she was nowhere near him. He walked her down and brung her back to the grass and slammed her on the ground. What kind of job do you think that he was doing to chase down a 15-year-old and slam her down? Number one, they were on public property. Like, for those that don't know the law, if you're standing on public property, you're not doing anything. And unless a cop thinks that you're doing something, whereas that he has probable cause that he's endangered or something like that, or that you're doing a criminal act besides just standing there, this is the only reason or only way that he can detain you or approach you in any kind of way, is if he thinks that you're committing a criminal act. What kind of criminal act could somebody do in bathing wear? They're standing on a public street, on a public pavement, and you have cops running all over the place chasing people down. This guy pulled out a firearm on children. And for her to say that, oh yeah, he got attacked from behind, where did he get attacked from? Because trust and believe, if he got attacked, that would have escalated to a whole nother different level. What you see in there, and if you really watch this lady, if you see in there and looked in there, you would see that the kid got bumped from behind by his friend. This is what made him jerk forward toward the policeman. Not that he jerked forward himself. He was bumped from behind by his own friend. Nobody jumped at this cop. Nobody approached him from behind. And you sound like a racist. As a matter of fact, I know you are. For you to sit there and say something like, oh, well, this cop was doing what he was supposed to be doing. The cop's behavior was definitely unorthodox and not in the right or best judgment for him to be doing. It's ludicrous, it's disrespectful, and it's crazy. For police to keep getting away with things like this, it's appalling. It's not, I can't even fathom how he's even on, 9 times out of 10, he's probably on paid leave on top of that. Like, he's suspended. Like, we all know what that means. He's suspended with pay, and it's an investigation. Everybody and their mother is going to come to this cop's aid, because they don't want to. They probably don't want to see him lose his job. But at the same time, why shouldn't he lose his job? Why shouldn't any cop lose their job for using and abusing the authority that they are presented by the government, the state? This is ridiculous. You are here to protect and serve. Who are you protecting and serving by slamming kids down at a pool party? What danger were they causing? Is anybody asking that? Like, what danger did they come in throwing cans at people or throwing rocks at people? Did they come in? Were they the ones that were having racial slurs back and forth with somebody? No. This came from the Caucasians. A Caucasian lady called and said, oh, it's these children here are being unruly. Unruly, it's a pool party. You just didn't want blacks in your neighborhood And so this was a perfect way for you to get over and say what you had to say. You were mad. I don't know why. But for some reason you were mad. Why? It's crazy. For the cops to even be called on a situation like that for a pool party. It was a pool party. This wasn't a riot. Nobody was marching on Washington. It wasn't 100 billion people out there. They were all school kids who knew all they wanted to do was just go to a pool party. This little kid asked where his bag was at, and I don't care where the cop says, I don't care where your bag is at. This lady's talking about, oh, the children, they were cussing at him. Did you not hear the video when this cop is running? He's running by so bad. He's so eager to get the minorities that he falls down and loses his flashlight just to get back up and chase him again. Like, the whole time, almost the whole time this cop was talking, he was cursing at these children. And she's sitting up here defending this guy like, oh my goodness, they were cursing at him and disrespecting him. There was no more disrespect than what that cop showed for unarmed teenagers. Unarmed, and I say this again, lady, unarmed teenagers. For anybody that's listening to this video, it's disrespectful and it's crazy for this cop to pull out a gun on unarmed teenagers. Then on top of that, send the other cops to chase them down to bring them back. And for what? What did they do? Of course, they're going to come up with stupid little cop jargon like, oh, they were obstructing justice and this and that. Trust me. If this was your kid, you will be obstructing justice too, watching your child get slammed to the ground or watching your friend get slammed to the ground for no apparent reason. It's ridiculous, and police brutality needs to stop. They need to come up with some type of consequences for these police officers who think that they can abuse their authority anytime they want to. And keep in mind, it's only with the minorities that these cops really abuse their authority because they know they can get away with it. It's easier to get away with it for black minorities than they can get away with it for any other race. It's easier because they paint this propaganda issue about all blacks are bad and every time you say black is a thug or they're a thief or they're always on welfare and this and that. But if you take the time to look throughout history, those who don't know, blacks have made a tremendous contribution to the United States and the building of this country, and furthermore, the existence of this country. People, you really need to do your work. Stop police violence.